This week's ruling to allow disabled voters to download ballots electronically from home is now being challenged by GOP lawmakers. Disabled voters would request a ballot online and return it in person or by mail. Our state Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson has more on the impacts.
35-year-old Tyler Engel is one of the plaintiffs in the case fighting for disabled Wisconsinites to vote from home.
So I have a spinal muscular dystrophy or the spinal muscular atrophy.
He's never voted independently.
So just losing the physical strength to write and fill out the bubbles in the ballot.
Now, the most recent Dane County Circuit temporary injunction could change that, allowing voters with disabilities to download and fill out their ballots at home before mailing or delivering them in person.
It'll be nice to be able to fill it out on my own for once.
According to the legal records we obtained on Monday, GOP lawmakers requested a notice to appeal the decision in Dane County Circuit Court. We asked the legislature's attorney for an explanation. He did not respond to our request for comment.
It's just ridiculous.
Democrat Attorney General Josh Kaul expressed concern about the quick turnaround to implement these changes ahead of the fast approaching November election.
The security, I think, either way, my vote hasn't been sent here in the past, so this is a little more secure than it's been.
In a statement, the Wisconsin Elections Commission's chief legal counsel writes the temporary injunction, quote, is meant to go into effect for the November general election. However, there is still a lot going on with this case, and there are interveners, so I cannot say definitively what will happen between now and then. In the meantime, Engel says he's fortunate to have caretakers he trusts to help physically fill out his ballot. But there's no privacy.
So for people who don't understand or haven't been in my situation, my motto is, can I sit and watch you vote? Like, how would you feel if I watched you vote?
In Madison, Vanessa Kelson.